Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are in a good condition. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Sarah Fatria Mumtaz. I'm a computer science student at Universitas Gadjah Mada, and now I'm on my first year of study. In this occasion, let me tell you about my favorite subject in the first semester. This is for the English assignment, which lecturer is Mr. Habib Mustafa. So, in the first semester, I had about 10 subjects to study, including programming, calculus, chemistry, informatics, logics, etc. Actually, it's not an easy thing for me to decide which one is my favorite, since I was still adapting to the new environment at that time. But I will say that the most memorable subject for me is programming. But do you wonder why? Was I a master to the subject, or had I learned about it before, or it was just really an easy thing to learn? The answer is no, totally no. I had no idea what is programming before. Even when I did the first test, I had to do it in almost a week, which drove me to think, do I choose a wrong field to learn? But fortunately, in the first semester, I joined a student organization which focus is programming and learning the algorithm, and it helped me a lot. It made me interacting to people who is already a master in this subject. So I can say that I was really motivated at that time, so I forget that I was nothing before. I pushed myself to reread the material the lecturer gave me often, do the task as soon as the lecturer gave, and do exercises. The result? I passed the semester with a good score on that subject. But it's not the only result. Since that time, I've learned that actually people can learn anything they want. It doesn't matter that they are genius or not, talented or not, but as long as you commit to yourself that you want to learn, you will learn, and you will earn more than you have expected if you never give up. So, yeah, that's the reason why. And now I will explain to you about what I've learned. So in the first semester, I learned about the algorithm and C++ language programming. I found that mathematics and logics is in the same field as programming. This is the example of what I learned in the first semester. This problem asks you to divide candies in some terms. And I solved this problem by writing this code. But this time, I will not explain this code. Instead, I will explain about Euclidean algorithm and its implementation in C++. So, I use Euclidean algorithm to find the greatest common divisor from some integers. This is the code that I write before. So the first step, this is a header file which contains declarations for a particular group of functions. This time, we use this header file that includes all standard library in C++. And then this, using namespace std, this means we are going to use classes from std namespace. And the first step is this. The first step, we are going to create a function to find greatest common divisor from two integers only, which is a recursion function. Here we initialize GCD as a function which has two parameters, both are integer. And in this line, this is conditional statement. We treat it as if A is greater than B. And the next line, this is called a nested if, which is a conditional statement inside a conditional statement. If A mod B equals to 0, return B. This means if the condition is true, then the value will be B. This is also called a base case from the recursion. Else, this is an else statement. In this case, it means that if A is greater than B and A mod B doesn't equal to 0, return GCD from B and A mod B. This will return the greatest common divisor function which parameters are B and A mod B. This is called recursion when a function calls itself until it reaches the base case. And then else, this means if A is less or equals to B, if B mod A equals to 0. Again, this is a nested if B mod A equals to 0. Actually, this is the same step as the upper code, but I divided into two sections because the first integer would be less or greater than the second integer. So next, return A. This is the base case. Return A means the value will be A if the condition is true. Else, if B mod A doesn't equal to 0, return GCD from A and B mod A. It will do the recursion again, which parameters are A and B mod A. Next, this is integer main. This is the main function. Main function is a function that all programs must have because this is where our program will be executed. Integer n, we initialize n as an integer. Cout input blah blah blah. Cout is a variable in C++ that indicates we are going to output something. In this case, we are going to output a text that is input the size of the array. Cin is a variable in C++ that indicates you are going to input something. In this case, we are going to input the value of n. Next, we initialize x as an array of integer which size is n, indexed from 0 to n-1, and GCD as an integer too. For integer blah 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 blah. So this is called a loop. The total repetition is n times because the start is I equals to 0 and the end is I equals to n-1. The value of I will be updated as I plus 1 for every repetition. Cout input the blah blah blah, then I plus 1 the element. This line means we are going to output the text, then I plus 1 means that if I is equals to 0, then the output will be 0 plus 1, that is 1. And then we are going to see in xi, we will input the value of ith index of x. Then GCD is the function that we created before, greatest common divisor of x0 and xi. In this line, we will initialize the value of GCD is greatest common divisor from x, the 0 index, and xi from every I is the integer between 0 and n-1. Cout, the greatest common divisor from the array above is, this is a text, so we are going to output a text, and GCD, which have been analyzed before as the greatest common divisor from the integers above. And then return 0, it means that the program is done. So yeah, that's all my explanation. Perhaps I have some mistakes when I explained to you, and I'm still learning to be better. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.